One of the great privileges in life is to work with a team that both share tremendous passion for a project or a goal. That's what this project is all about. It's a project that gives us all joy to be associated with, and it's truly an adventure. And so this is a tremendous privilege to be part of.
The brand Porsche has really built their mark on engineering, performance, design, and evolution of design. And so for me to really look back at what were pivotal moments in that company's history, the 1951 Le Mans race was a very significant turning point for them in motorsports.
I'm Cameron Healy. I'm the owner and steward of the 1951 356 SL. I've had a real love for Porsche mark, and which has evolved later in life into being able to collect, restore, research, as well as vintage race these wonderful cars.
So every year at Monterey at the Historics, there was a guy that would race his little Gmund SL, which had been converted into a roadster. Cameron would always be gravitated towards that car. This particular guy, Chuck, had owned since around 1957, and he was going to keep it for the rest of his life. And unfortunately, Chuck did pass away a few years ago, and his estate then made it known that the car was going to be available. And Cameron and myself, as well as another good friend of ours, Dirk Clare, got together and we evaluated the information that was known to us to really look at, what's the potential of this car, and is it going to be a car that Cameron can get and just race the way that it is, or is it something that truly has some significant early race history? And a couple of key things popped out immediately for us. There's some physical characteristics on the car that were some clues that this possibly being one of the significant cars that ran Le Mans in 1951. I picked up on the fact that the door pocket right behind the door handle was larger on this particular car in a different shape. So that started a quick reference on other photos to say, there's a very good chance that this could be not only a Le Mans entry car, but the Le Mans winning car. So that got Cameron really excited. Not only the fact that this car was something that he was very fond of because he saw it racing all the time, and it was that early vintage Porsche race car that he's always wanted.
When I purchased the car in 2010, I had a pretty strong inkling that it was the original Le Mans car. In approaching this restoration on this fabulous early Porsche car, it was very important to connect with the right modern craftspeople, and I very naturally reached out to Emory Motorsports.
Once Cameron made the decision to purchase the car and we brought it back to my shop, then we began the restoration process, and we stripped the car to bare aluminum and steel. We didn't want to sandblast it or media blast it. We wanted to strip it by hand so that we could discover colors of paint underneath layers and layers, and we didn't want to erase any history. We knew that the right thing to do with this car was to prepare it and build it back just like it raced at Le Mans in 1951, because there really is only one car that is Porsche's first class win at the world's largest and most competitive endurance race. It does this car the most justice, as well as the automotive community, to bring this car back to that period in time. And so when we made that decision to bring it back to 1951 Le Mans spec, we knew that we didn't want to over-restore it, meaning we didn't want to make it so perfect that it was better than it was in the day. And so that's where utilizing those old school craftsmanship techniques that were used when these cars were built originally came into play. Even though today we have a lot of modern capabilities and modern tools, one of the things that we wanted to do during the restoration of this car was to employ as many old school techniques as we could by creating the wood bucks, using equipment from the period, so that we could make sure that we're getting the right hammer marks and panels, and make sure that the spirit of the restoration is done the way that they would have done it back in the day. But we are missing a third of the car, which meant we had to use technology to be able to, recreate those roof panels and the rear deck lid and the inner structure and dash that were missing. That led to us creating 3D models of our car, chassis number 63, but also chassis number 56, and then Dave Seeland's car, as well as one of the street Gmund cars owned by Jeff Swart. So we digitized all these cars, started overlaying the data and looking at differences in the bodies. And that gave us the information that we needed so that we could start creating body parts to rebuild 063 back to Le Mans spec. To be able to do a project of this caliber with somebody that is so passionate about Porsches and have an opportunity to share a vision in bringing back one of the most significant Porsches in history is really a unique opportunity and something that I pour my heart and soul into every day.
So we're very excited to introduce this car to the public in late September 2015 as the original Le Mans car since its history-making moment in June of 1951.